Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for my continued followers, I want to say thank you as I try to bring you some recent commentaries of true crime stories, of things that are relevant and eye-opening events that are taking place across our country and sometimes across our world and universe. And this one is coming straight from Tennessee, going directly to Michigan. And there's been times when I've done videos about inappropriate relationships with teachers and middle school and high school students that have been taking place, it seems, quite frequently here in our country over the last few years, and especially with female teachers in their mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, and preteen or teenage school-aged boys. But this one is all about family dynamics and how parents need to pay close attention to the children and what they're doing in this worldwide web, this internet and this computer technology that has replaced us as parents. These kids can get as anything they want from an information standpoint and external stimuli by the push of a button versus myself, who's in his mid-50s. We had to utilize our five senses and ask our parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts how to navigate through life, the birds and the bees, how to play baseball, how to do all kinds of things back in the 70s and 80s. And now this technology has replaced us as parents. They can get all the information about the birds and the bees from a push of a button. They can get all the porn. They can get anything that they want if there aren't barriers in place on these young folks' cell phones or their computers. They can push a button and immediately turn themselves from a naive kid, to overly exposed semi-adult. And this one is about a young man. Sheriff says, Tennessee man tries to enroll at Michigan high school to meet a minor. 21-year-old Kevin Flick from Tennessee traveled to Michigan and tried to enroll at a high school after meeting a minor online, authorities said. A suspicious staff member at Mason County Central alerted a sheriff's deputy who interviewed the young man Tuesday and learned that he wasn't a teenager as claimed, the sheriff's office says. The man from Fort Campbell, Tennessee, was charged with using a computer to commit a crime, as well as other crimes. So this kid actually flew to Michigan to meet this young lady, this minor that he met online, and he tried to enroll into the high school that she was at. But he told them he did not have an ID, but he also told them that he flew from Tennessee to Michigan. So you had to have an ID to get on an airplane. So that shot up a red flag instantly. And then they realized he wasn't 17, he was actually 21. And they said, I would strongly encourage parents to have conversations with their children about the dangers of online chatting and the sharing of information over the internet or social media platforms. The high school is in Scottsville in northern Michigan, about 100 miles north of Grand Rapids. So this young man from Tennessee actually flew into Grand Rapids, and I guess he drove to this particular high school where he was talking to this young lady. Through an investigation, authorities learned the man from Fort Campbell, Tennessee, allegedly attempted to enroll as a 17-year-old to pursue a relationship with a female student. The suspect even flew to Grand Rapids to meet the student. So this is just a cautionary tale on how my children are in their 20s now. And for those who are following my videos and listening to them from an informational standpoint, and you still have preteens or teenagers, it's very important to be fully aware of what's going on with them. not only at their school, and make sure they're not being bullied and learning the information that they need to learn, and engage in sports activities and extracurricular activities. After school, you need to make sure and continue your parenting process by uh, having some controlled variables on what they're doing on these telephones and on their computers. These computers and these telephones have replaced us as parents. A kid today does not have to ask any human being anything about life. They can push a button and get every answer, right or wrong, right there in front of them. And so I think this is where, in many instances, is almost as if kids are raising themselves because they don't go to the parents anymore. Nobody sits down and has dinner as a family. If you do, everybody has their phone and looking at their phone. There's no interhuman connection anymore, even with parents and kids, which is unfortunate. God gave us five senses that we need to utilize each and every day, and we are decimating the utility of those five senses by pushing a button and having everything brought straight to you instantly. We're in a world of character assassination. Once it goes out, whether it's an accurate claim or a false claim about someone, once you put it on the internet, it stays forever. You have a lifetime to build up a career, and it takes 1 second to destroy it. It takes forever to go up the hill. It takes 2 seconds to tumble all the way down the hill to the bottom. And we have to remember that. But this is a very eye-opening circumstance with this 21-year-old. And when you see a picture of him, he doesn't even look 21. It's hard to tell between an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old in today's time. And he was willing to travel all the way from Tennessee to Michigan to meet this young lady. Mental illness is a real thing. For this young man to think that he could have an engaged relationship with a minor, even from an interstate standpoint, which could turn things from a state crime to a federal crime, is a very interesting quandary, and he could end up in a ton of trouble. It's good that the authorities and the administrators figured out that something was wrong. Mental illness is real, and this could have been the precipice, if he had gotten away with this, to something that could have been more devastating and more deleterious to that young lady or to another human being in the near future. So the sooner that we can pay attention, those authority figures didn't use the utility of the phone or the computer. They used the utility of their five senses and their gut to realize that something wasn't right with this 21-year-old man from Tennessee that came all the way from Tennessee to Michigan to enroll in school with no ID, but he was on an airplane. They figured that out by using their five senses that God gave them, and they potentially saved the lives of this young lady and probably saved his life in a real sense. So he has been arrested and charged with several crimes and with the solicitation of a minor, and he probably will have to register as a sex offender, and now he can be on alert, and the government or policing agencies could have him in the system and follow and track him. If he does do prison time, we know that our penal system in the United States is not a rehabilitation center by any means. Many of these individuals that come out of prison end up worse than they went in. So we have to pray that he can get the therapy and the help that he needs, and he can come out of this situation a better human being. And this young lady can learn from her mistakes on meeting strangers online. It's a dangerous world, but we're trying to make it a better place each and every day. Tell me what you think about this story. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.